Innovation, ingenuity, indispensable. San Diego International Airport. From its earliest days, air travel has fascinated and intrigued us, evoking memories and dreams of exotic destinations and places undiscovered. Today, millions of passengers pass through San Diego International Airport, some visiting San Diego's world-class attractions like the zoo, SeaWorld and its famous beaches, others on business, and some just coming home to America's finest city. This whirlwind of activity is made possible by the airport's technology, people, and design. This efficiency directly stems from San Diego's rich aviation history of daring inventiveness. San Diego wasn't much more than a desert outpost when it was incorporated as a city in 1850. But, attracted by the near-perfect weather, residents and flyers flocked to the region. Although written histories mark 1883 as the region's aviation beginnings, the quest for innovation, technology, and flight may have begun when human beings first glimpsed the future in the beat of a bird's wing. When John Montgomery risked his life in 1883 to make the world's first directed, heavier-than-air flight, he carried with him the passion for invention, the instinctual need to improve, change, and fly that first sprang to life in our earliest ancestors. His flight from the Otay Mesa Plateau began a long line of aviation world records and firsts that continues today. No doubt inspired by Montgomery's feats, Glenn Hamilton Curtis established the Naval Training Flight School in 1911 on Coronado's North Island. San Diego pioneer Reuben Fleet earned his wings on North Island during this period and went on to plan and lead the nation's first regular airmail route between Washington, D.C. and New York City. It was the simple act of letter writing that brought the aviation industry visibility and acted as an economic driver to power it through the 1920s. Airmail would lead to cargo transportation and passenger flights, forerunners of the modern aviation industry. One of the first to see such promise in passenger flights was T. Claude Ryan. In 1924, he and partner B.F. Mahoney began the nation's first regularly scheduled airline with service to Los Angeles. In this same year, the San Diego Chamber of Commerce urged the city to build a flying field to accommodate mail planes and tourists. And so, San Diego's airport was born. Airport planners selected an uninhabitable tidal marsh, besieged by the ravages of tide and nature as the best site. Transforming this site into a serviceable airport required a monumental engineering feat. Dredgers worked for months moving soil from the bottom of San Diego Bay to create the dry, stable soil necessary for the dirt runways typical of the era. With San Diego's plans for a new airport now firmly established, San Diego's reputation for flight innovation would soar on the wings of a customized B.F. Mahoney and a T. Claude Ryan built aircraft. Mahoney and Ryan received a telegram in February 1926 from Midwestern airmail pilot and former Army Air Corps flyer Charles Lindbergh. Can you construct whirlwind engine plane capable of flying nonstop between New York and Paris? Stop. If so, please advise cost and delivery date. Stop. Ryan Aircraft accepted the challenge. Their mechanics and the shy, lanky Midwesterner would design and build the first airplane capable of transatlantic flight in San Diego, at the Ryan factory just south of San Diego International Airport's main runway. They had 2 months. The Ryan mechanics worked day and night, creating an unconventional, innovative vehicle, the Spirit of St. Louis. It had no front windshield. A huge fuel tank occupied the space instead. Lindbergh could only see ahead of him using a periscope-like device. Final preparations, planning, and testing for the flight took place in the skies above San Diego. Less than 2 weeks after the Ryan team tightened her last bolt, Lindbergh flew the Spirit from San Diego across the country to New York. On May 20th, the Spirit left Roosevelt Field on Long Island, New York. Cheering crowds greeted his arrival at Le Bourget Field in Paris 33 and a half hours later. The San Diego team had only 8 weeks to build the little plane, but they obviously had the right stuff. Lindbergh's solo non-stop flight from New York to Paris captivated the world, creating an overnight hero out of the quiet Midwestern pilot. The Chamber of Commerce was granted permission by Lucky Lindy to use his name on the fledgling airfield. Even today, San Diego International Airport is still referred to as Lindbergh Field. Officially dedicated on August 16, 1928, Lindbergh Field became the first federally approved airport in the U.S. Built to accommodate aircraft with capabilities only dreamed of, the airport represented another first for San Diego's aviation tradition of innovation and foresight. Only a week after its dedication, Continental Air Express became the first airline to serve Lindbergh Field. As the Depression swept the nation, San Diego's aviation industry helped cushion the blow. Rapidly growing aviation companies reacted to the demand for air transportation services. Aviation jobs employed 1 out of 12 in the region. Federal and local funding also provided jobs through efforts to expand and improve the airport. By 1931, the 3,000-foot airfield grew to 142 acres. The airport's expansion mirrored local aviation industry growth. San Diego, the air capital of the West, attracted industry heavyweight Reuben H. Fleet. Fleet relocated his company, Consolidated Aircraft, to San Diego in 1934. Consolidated's Catalina PBY seaplanes would gain fame in World War II for their reliability, long range, and bombing capacity. Consolidated, over the next 40 years, became the city's largest civilian employer. Fleet's legacy as a philanthropist includes the Reuben H. Fleet Space Theater and Science Center in Balboa Park. With the advent of World War II, overnight, San Diego became the nation's largest aircraft manufacturing center. San Diego was transformed into a 24-hour-a-day metropolis. Aviation industry workers poured into the city from across the nation. Women streamed into San Diego factories, quickly assuming roles formerly reserved for men. The term Rosie the Riveter was coined at the Consolidated Aircraft Corporation, marking the first time women were admitted to mechanical classes in the nation's history. San Diego's Rosies helped Consolidated produce almost 11,000 aircraft in 1943 alone. The Army took over operations of the airport in 1942, improving runways and taxiways to accommodate the heavy bombers being produced at the nearby Consolidated Aircraft factories. At war's end, San Diego companies refocused on the commercial air transportation market. One such post-war entrepreneur, Kenneth Friedkin, went on to found Pacific Southwest Airlines, or PSA, in 1948. San Diego's hometown airline brought style and humor to the airline industry, along with a business model that emphasized superior service at budget ticket fares. PSA was also the first airline to fly business people to Northern California and back to San Diego in one day, beginning the commuter airline boom. PSA was one of many success stories and firsts for the airport. The airport expanded and modernized, building a new administration building and a jet-ready runway. But this rapid growth brought with it many challenges. Aircraft were becoming larger and faster. The 1950s would usher in an aviation revolution, the jet age. A time when technologies had to balance environmental impact, and again, the airport showed vision and foresight. In 1960, the Harbor Commission appointed a noise abatement committee, marking a long-term commitment to the issue that would include the nation's first formal action restricting nighttime airport operations. Such foresight, as well as the complexity of administering the airport and the bay's tidal lands, led to the formation of the San Diego Unified Port District in 1962. The port immediately set out to meet the anticipated future demands of Lindbergh Field, commissioning an unprecedented planning study. This vision led to increased capacity and terminal upgrades that would bring wide-body aircraft such as the Boeing 747 to San Diego. At the same time, San Diego's economy began to shift away from the defense industry and towards the tourist trade. This spawned the Gaslamp Quarter redevelopment, Seaport Village, and a new convention center. Additional passenger air traffic also increased security concerns. In 1972, federal regulations required all passengers to pass through screening devices and to have all carry-on baggage searched. Passengers and flights continued their rapid rise. In 1978, confusion and unregulated air traffic would result in tragedy. A PSA 727 collided with a Cessna, killing 144 people, including 7 on the ground. The FAA investigation brought safety to the forefront at the federal level. Resulting air traffic control procedures developed for San Diego would be duplicated across the country. By the early 80s, the airport's expanded terminals and runways allowed it to handle even the heaviest aircraft, as well as the increased passenger loads they carried. Aviation transportation demand continued to increase across the San Diego region. Recognizing the regional nature of airport issues, California Assembly Bill 93 transitioned the airport from San Diego Unified Port District oversight to the San Diego County Regional Airport Authority on January 1, 2003. Charged with managing the region's current air transportation needs as well as planning for the future, the authority will ensure San Diego International Airport remains a world-class airport and destination well into the future. Today, at the beginning of the 21st century, San Diego International Airport is the nation's busiest single-runway commercial airport. It's the 28th most active and the 55th largest facility in the world, servicing 16 airlines, 12 air freight companies, 16 airline support providers, and 23 concessionaires. The airport continues to attract new airlines and more non-stop flights to a myriad of destinations. San Diego International Airport hums with 24-hour-a-day activity. Some of these activities have taken on a new urgency. Safety and security procedures have intensified since the tragic events of September 11th. The Transportation Security Administration, established in 2001 to oversee security in airports and other facilities across the nation, was formed to ensure freedom of movement for people and commerce. The airport became one of the first in the nation to install and operate baggage explosive detection screening equipment at ticket counters in compliance with the new 2002 federal law. San Diego International Airport has become much more than a transportation facility with restaurants and regularly scheduled concerts. The airport's award-winning public art program features permanent and temporary exhibits of both local and nationally renowned artists. The Volunteer Airport Ambassador Program provides customer service assistance to thousands of travelers and visitors every day. This superior service approach to travel has become a model program in airports across the country. In keeping with San Diego's long history with the military, it is home to the world's largest airport USO facility. A far cry from the airport's first dusty runway and single terminal, San Diego International Airport today employs some 5,000 people, and its operations contribute almost $5 billion annually to the regional economy. It continues the region's tradition of innovation and ingenuity through its vision, values, and operations each and every day. San Diego's airport celebrates and honors flight, not just for its indisputable, indispensable utility, but also for the soaring freedom it represents. This is where the future takes wing.